Hey everyone, so I finished my training with Roddy this morning, and it's always good to learn from him, to get new insights. There's always something that you can pick up. For me, for today, this morning after I finished changing my bedding and cleaning up, I forced myself to eat something. I'm not a big eater, so fasting is easy for me, but it also means that my body retains the fat because I have to force myself to eat 3 meals a day. So I'm trying to do that better now. And I'm going to miss my alcohol because I just started getting back into having a glass of wine with my meals. But with high blood pressure, I guess you have to cut it out completely until it stabilizes. So that's that. I should have drank more while I was in England. I enjoyed my alcohol. Anyway, for today's reflection, I used my Doreen Virtue book, and it's called Mornings with the Lord. So the proverb in there is basically Proverbs 21. It's from Proverbs 21:5, and it says, "Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty." So if we look at our world today, is that true? It's actually the opposite in the world that we're living in. So those who are corrupt, those who are gypping the system, doing all kinds of things, they're the ones who are becoming prosperous. And those of us who are praying, who are discerning, who are doing things the right way, we're not landing up with worldly riches, but we're landing up with heavenly riches. That's the way that I look at it. I think the thing that is important to remember when we're looking at this is that in order to make a commitment to things, it doesn't have to depend on our circumstances. It doesn't have to depend on the people around us. It has to depend on our values and what we want to aim for, what we want to do. So in this life, unfortunately, sometimes you do all the right things. You exercise, you eat well, you sleep well, you work hard, you're committed to your employers, and you land up like me. You land up with poverty and debt. You do all the right things, you train, you educate yourself, you upgrade your skills, and you still get bypassed for promotions, for being invited to things, for being included. So unfortunately, you can't control other people, but you can pray, like I do, that things will turn around and that things will come right. And you can also take action with others. So when I take action, whether it's writing to the politicians or inviting them to the church or doing anything, I'm doing it with others. I'm not just doing it because I'm a big shot. So, for example, with the One campaign, we have a system in place where we were trained how to engage on social media, how to tag people in social media, how to reach out to people, invite them to come to our events that we're having. And that's part of the things that I've done. I used to invite the politicians to come to our church, Marco Mendocino, Michael Levitt, Justin Trudeau. We invite them. They don't always come. In fact, most of the time for my events, I got turned down. But sometimes they reach out to me and they ask me, "Can you introduce me to the priest at your church?" So the Conservatives have done that with me. They've asked me to introduce them to Father Larry. So I make the introductions, I introduce them. But that's how we have to take action, and we have to keep taking action, because human rights easily fall away. People easily forget the work we've done. And we have to keep reminding ourselves, we have to keep deepening our commitment to the world that we want to build. I was watching a news piece yesterday on YouTube, and there was a professor, if I find it, I'll post it, saying that President Trump is a fascist. So, I really don't know about that, but it's interesting to watch all these different things because people voted by a majority to bring President Trump in. And all the things that he was saying he's going to do, he's now doing. So, I don't know, but we'll see how it all turns out. And for us as Canadians, we also have an election coming up. So there's a lot of different organizations, the Jesuits, the sisters, the church, they've all put out things about how to decide to vote, how to give your commitment, what you want to do. And all those things are there. And for me, if the African leaders are saying they don't want the aid from Africa, what President Trump has done is good, then why should I send my aid there? It's up to them at the end of the day. If they don't want it, they don't want it. If they want to put their own systems in place and their own mechanisms in place, that's fine, because they've never said that before. In all the years that I have been advocating for aid for Africa, for international development, I've never seen anything like this, where the black leaders are saying, that's good what he did and we don't want it. I've never seen anything like this. And that's what I'm hearing on the YouTube videos, that's what I'm seeing in the news articles. So for me, I feel like I'm stepping off the One campaign at a good time. There's other things I can help with in Canada, for the poverty in Canada. And if and when the African leaders change their mind and they say, yeah, you know what, we actually do want you to get involved and we do want this aid and we do want all these things that you're doing, then maybe I'll reconsider going back, and maybe if they want me, they'll accept me back. But that's how we have to evaluate things and come to our decisions. Because even when independence came to Zimbabwe, that was the whole thing. They didn't want a father knows best approach. They wanted to make their own decisions. So whether that will turn out for the best or whether it won't, I don't know. But it's come out through all the news articles and everything. And I think for places like Zambia, where things are going well, that's good. But there's other places where they're not speaking out, they're not saying they don't want the aid. But that doesn't necessarily impact me, because I've been doing it for the SADC region. I've been doing it for Zimbabwe, South Africa, Zambia, all that region. So it's good to evaluate and see where we are, what steps we need to take. It's the same with my health. I was quite surprised because when I stepped on the scale at home, before I went to my doctor, the scale had showed that I lost 6 pounds. But when I went to the doctor and I didn't have anything to eat or drink, it showed that I had gained. It still showed it at 90 pounds. So it's like, you know what? I have no idea what's going on with my body, but I pray that it stabilizes whatever it is. Because I don't eat that much fatty food. I don't eat high cholesterol foods. So it's very strange. But anyway, there's a spiritual side to what happens to us in life. And then there's the material side to what happens to us in life. And sometimes you can do everything right and those around you spoil it for you. And that's what happened to Elvis Presley. He did everything right. He had the most sold out concerts. He was good looking. He had a nice voice. He did everything right. And those around him spoiled it for him. And then they wrote books and they sold them on how it was his fault. So it's interesting what people do to you once they get what they want. But that was the piece I wanted to share for you. So when I do my reflections, I use 2 or 3 books and then I bring them together. I'm not going to do the charismatic leader today because I didn't get to read that. But those, I just wanted to focus on those important key elements for today. And also I decided to do it here and to do it in the lounge because the camera is good on the laptop, but it makes me look like I'm sick. It's not as good a picture as doing it on my phone. So that's why I did it with the phone.